The book I read was Starcraft 2 Devil's Dues. The book is based off of the game Starcraft 2. Well, the actual game starts out with a prisoner being let out of prison and getting fitted with armor. This is Tychus, one of the main characters in the book. The book is based off of the events that happened before the game, before Tychus was put in prison and stuff like that. The two main characters are Tychus Finland and Jim Raynor, were the first two people you see at the start of the game. The first major part of the story of these games is that the Confederacy still exists while not being what they used to be. They're more focused on just defending stuff rather than slavery. Another thing to know before reading the story is the three races. There's the Terran, which are just the humans, although now they're focused on more genetic mutations rather than normal stuff. There's also the Zerg and the Protoss. They don't play a big role, but they're there. The Zerg are just more alien insect things that are focused on multiplying and making themselves better. The Protoss are more focused on intelligence and learning everything they can. The book starts out with Tychus and Raynor planning a train heist and waiting for their moment to strike. The first room as they strike did not hold what they were looking for, a safe full of credits or the money. It did hold a jukebox. Raynor vowed to make it out with the jukebox. When they got to the safe room, they only ran into one sergeant guard, who Tychus almost killed as Raynor pistol whipped Tychus off. As they escaped, they got the jukebox and began a big chase. Tychus offered to distract the cops as Raynor went to the hidey hole. He played chicken for roughly an hour, I think, and he managed to destroy a lot of the police's banshees, which are like flying vehicles, and Raynor was able to get away to safety. The book is mainly just focused on how Tychus and Raynor get around the galaxy with their while being chased by the law and stuff like that. There aren't too many other major characters besides those two, but there are the few assassins that are chasing them. They don't really play much of a role besides just popping up, trying to kill them, and disappearing later on. There aren't too many major turning parts or betrayals and stuff like that, but there is one part where they go to some sort of bar and Tychus gets offered a prize by a lady. It's very strange, but he ends up getting chained and shackled to the bed, and she begins to threaten him with knockout drugs. He becomes enraged, breaking his cuffs, knocking her out, and he didn't bother to put his clothes on, but he grabbed Raynor and they went away to do whatever they were doing. Eventually, later through the story, they end up becoming guns for hire, or just mercenaries, and they end up getting hired to help form a miracle drug. As they are trying to get the research for this miracle drug, they end up getting snuck up on by Elzekiel Dawn. I think that's how you say his name. As they were trying to fend him off, Raynor tried to didn't try, he fake surrendered, and Dawn thought it was real, but it was all a ruse, and Raynor finished getting the vial that he needed and decided to throw a thing of acid at his face, forcing them to retreat, and the duo, Raynor and Tychus, got away, no problems. The assassin that was hired to kill them, Dawn, had lost his eye, and instead of making it solely money-based, he decided to make it a personal matter to kill the two criminals. As the story continues on, they end up doing more heists and stuff to get more credits and money for this farm aid stuff, or the medical drug. Towards the end of the book, they end up finding a corpse and a bunch of the Dawn's hollows, and Raynor was able to find him, and Dawn told him the person who had hired him, Javier Vanderspool, I think that's how you say his name, who was Raynor's and Tychus's previous officer, the reason they decided to rebel against the Confederacy due to corruption. During the previous heist, however, Raynor was injured, and as he went to go shoot Dawn, he passed out as he took the shot. As Raynor began to awaken, Tychus showed him the plans, and Raynor took the escape, and Tychus took all the blame. The cops broke in, just saw a body on the floor, angry Tychus, and a few hollows. Tychus almost defeated the cops, but they were able to arrest him. That's about all the main parts in the book, at least from what I remember. I thought it was an okay book. It was a little boring. The games are pretty fun, but they get boring at times. And I thought the book was just like it, entertaining then boring at times. Some of the footage you'll be seeing is from Starcraft 2, and then some is from Heroes of the Storm with the 2 characters in it. And that's the end of my book thing. I hope I did okay on it. I did my best to remember. I finished it a while ago and had to look up some of the stuff because I don't remember the people's names or who they were. One of the things I do remember is I recorded way too much game footage for this, so I have about like an hour of game footage from both Heroes of the Storm and Starcraft.